Hi friends, I'm glad you're here. I can't wait to get started with some reading. Today we'll be focused on that engagement text and the new decodable book. This is Module 2, Cycle 11, Lesson 52.
Materials!
Go ahead and get that thinking cap on. You'll also need those listening ears today. Here are our 3 learning targets. Follow along with the first one as I read it. Using evidence from the text, I can answer questions about the current edition of the Sunnyside Gazette. Baby cougars born at City Zoo. The second learning target says, I can read irregularly spelled high-frequency words like finally, guess, through, and good. And that final learning target says, I can read the decodable text, Baby Cougars at the Zoo.
Transition song.
It's time to hear a story, a story, a story. It's time to hear a story and say what we've learned.
Read aloud.
Let's jump into our engagement text. Today's edition of the Sunnyside Gazette is called Baby Cougars Born at City Zoo by Nina Newsnose. The City Zoo has some new additions. The zoo's female cougar Lou gave birth to 2 healthy cougar cubs over the weekend. The male cub was named Cooper and the female was named Katrina. Like all cougar cubs, both were born with brown fur dotted with black spots. Their spots will begin to fade soon and continue to do so until they are completely gone, probably by the time the cougars are about 2 years old. This is Lou's first litter of cubs. Frank Fauna, head zookeeper, tells us Lou is only 4 years old, which is still quite young. She could give birth to several more litters of cubs in her lifetime. The new cougar cubs will stay very close to their mother for the next few weeks. But if you are lucky, you might catch a glimpse of them. But you will need to go soon. The zoo's hours are limited as the weather gets colder, and the zoo will be closed for the months of January and February. Zoo hours: Saturday and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. Monday, closed. Tuesday through Friday, open 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Question and answer.
You did a great job listening to that engagement text. Now let's talk about what we just heard. Answer each question based on what you heard in the text. What kind of babies were born at the zoo? Of course you know that one. They were baby cougars. How many cougar cubs were born? 2 of them, a boy and a girl. What do cougar cubs look like when they are born? Good. They have brown fur dotted with black spots. What does the word litter mean in this text? Yes, a litter is when multiple baby animals are born at the same time. In the text, it says that if students are lucky, they might catch a glimpse of the cubs. What does glimpse mean? A glimpse is a short little peek. Great job answering those questions.
Word work.
It's time for snap and trap. Our learning target told us a few words we'll see. Let's look at each one and decide if it's a trap or a snap. Here's the word finally. Look carefully at those spelling patterns. It seems like we see the word all in there, A-L-L. But I don't hear all when I say finally. That's quite tricky. It's a trap word. Here's the word guess. That's definitely a trap word. We see U-E, but we only hear that short E sound. That's very tricky. This word says through. That's also a trap word. We hear ooh, but we see G-H at the end. That's going to be tough to remember. This word says wheel. That's a contraction for we will. What do you think? Definitely. That's a snap word. We is making that long E sound because it's an open syllable. Try this word, good. You're right. We see our O-O pattern, but we hear a short U sound. That word is a trap. Here's the last word, it'll. That's our contraction for it will. You're right. That's a snap word too. It is making that short I sound because it's a closed syllable. Great job.
Fluency.
It's time to read our decodable text together, Baby Cougars at the Zoo. Of course, we'll be practicing fluency, but I also want you to listen for those high-frequency words that we just heard in our snap and trap practice. When you hear one of those snap and trap words, I want you to say it with me. Follow along as I read. I can't wait to see the new baby cougars. They'll be so cute, said Nell, as she and Sam walked to school. It was finally Tuesday, the day they had been waiting for. Their class was going on a trip to the zoo. I know, it'll be so cool to see the cubs up close. Or do you think they'll be shy and hide from us? Asked Sam. I don't know. I guess we'll find out soon, said Nell. A zoo worker met the class at the front of the zoo. My name is Matt. I'll be leading you on a tour of the zoo. The class followed Matt. First, Matt showed them the bears. They were by the pool, chewing on some food. Then they went to the birdhouse. The birds swooped through the big room. I like the birds and the bears, but I hope we'll get to see the cougar cubs soon, said Nell to Sam. They walked out of the birdhouse. Next, we'll see Lou the cougar and her new cubs, said Matt. Sam looked at Nell with a smile. The kids crowded around. They had a good view of the cougar den, but did not see anything at first. But then Sam said, I see Lou and her cubs too. The tiny cubs were next to Lou. They started to play. The boy cub chewed on the girl's fur. They rolled around. This is the cutest thing I have ever seen, said Nell. This is the best zoo tour ever, said Sam. I hope you were able to follow along with our story and say those high-frequency words with me. Keep up the good work.
Closing reflection.
Which high-frequency words were not tricky for you to read? Which high-frequency words were tricky for you to read? You did a great job reading today. Keep it up. I'm so glad you joined me again and got to hear about the cougars at the zoo. Let's keep working hard through the end of this cycle. I'll see you next time.